your head as we did on the wall. We are one, we are all family. Though tough times come, I will not waver. We will rise and become the new God. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and this day we know I do it's for you as it has been for me. Open your heart and know this in your soul. Our hopes, our dreams are the same. My vow to you, I will finish this race, not alone by myself, but with you. Though tough times come, I will not waver. We will rise and become the new God. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and this day we know I do it's for you as it has been for me. Everyone shine, everyone shine. All of earth is for a reason, for a greater design. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand in this day we know I do it's for you as it has been for me. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand in this day we know I do it's for you as it has been for me.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to International Prop Chat. My name is Sue Wong. I am the International Property Consultant from IQI International Property Team. On behalf of IQI, I want to welcome you and thank you for tuning in and supporting our program. This program features various real estate properties, global investment criteria, and also bring to you the hottest investment opportunity all around the world. So do follow our Facebook page, IQI International Sales, for announcements. Today, we are privileged to have Mr. Richard Jepson, from the tax manager from Adams & Moore, an audit and tax advisory firm all the way from London, to share with us about the tax matters for the first-time property investor in UK. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Hello, Sue. I'm fine. Very good. How are you?
I'm good. How's the weather over there?
Well, we had snow yesterday, and it's still on the ground, so that gives you an indication of how cold it is at the moment here in January. So yes.
Do you like snow?
It is good. It is good, but keep giving you all nice warm weather any day of the week. But yeah.
Okay. So the floor is yours, Richard. Maybe you can start by sharing what your company does for the investors, and we will listen to your sharing. All right?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm just trying to share my screen. Here we go. So my name's Richard Jepson. I work for a company called Adams & Moore. Now, we are a qualified UK-based accounting firm. I myself am personally qualified as well. We have been around for a long time. You can trace our history back to the 1940s. We are a traditional accounting firm, so we do all the stuff you'd expect an accounting firm to do, like accounts, VAT returns, payroll, etc. But we do have a non-resident landlord department, a team based in Kuala Lumpur, and we actually, within the NRL department, we handle currently about 2,000 tax returns a year, all for non-UK residents. who simply have UK income because they rent UK property. Now, the vast majority of these are Asians, so they'd be from Malaysia, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Thailand, etc. But some will actually come from the Middle East, from Europe, whatever. But either way, they're all the same, all non-UK residents. So, and we do travel a lot around the region. So I myself, although I live in the UK, I do regularly travel out to Asia, between particular sort of Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. In fact, I'll be out there in a couple of weeks, and I was out there a couple of months ago. So I travel sort of 3 or 4 times a year. So yeah, end of the day, the point is, Adams Moore, we are very experienced in what we do, and we're more than capable to look after anyone who needs our services for doing a tax return. Okay.
That's good.
So on that note, these are the sort of main services that we do. So obviously it goes beyond this, but particularly for your non-UK residents, if you're buying UK property for the very first time and renting it out, you won't have done a tax return before in the UK. So the first thing we have to do is register you. So service number 1 is full HMRC registration for first-time buyers. Even if you've been renting but never done a tax return, it may just mean you're not registered correctly, so we can make sure you're registered correctly. And then from that, we will do your tax return every year and your rental accounts that support the tax return. Just a way of showing how much UK income that you have to declare to the UK authorities. You only have to declare your UK income because you're a non-UK resident. And then there's obviously, if you do sell your UK property, hopefully you make some money out of it, great. We do have to do a capital gains tax return for you. That is also a legal requirement. So you just have to do one and sell UK property. So those are the sort of main compliance sort of services that we offer. But as qualified accountants, we can go beyond that. So things like full UK tax advice. Advice on purchase structure. I get asked the question a lot, should I buy in a company, etc. I'm more than happy to handle those questions. There's no right or wrong, yes or no answer to that. It just depends on your personal circumstances and your preferences. Then things like claiming back overpaid tax, something we do quite regularly, in particular people who try and do their own tax returns, without realizing that they're overpaying tax, or people who aren't registered properly, they just overpay tax. So what we can do is see how much tax they've overpaid and just get it back for them at the end of the day, nice and easy. Okay. Inheritance tax review. It's not something that comes up in conversation that often, but if someone is concerned with inheritance tax, then I'm more than happy to have a chat and do some advice for them. Service process agent is if you're getting a mortgage, sometimes your lender requires one. It's just like a UK address you need to supply to them. We can do that for you. And then finally, handle the HMRC payments. And so if you do pay tax, you can pay us that when you pay our fees, and then we can forward it on to HMRC. Saves you having to make multiple payments. So they're the main services that we do. We do more than that, of course, as well. But I think those are the core ones that your investors will be interested in. And anyone who wants more information from them, by all means, please contact us. Okay?
Okay. Well, okay. Okay. So you actually shorten, you have lay out your services in one slide, and I'm sure it comprises much more than that, right? So
of course it does, yeah. But those are the core ones we do. I mean, all 2,000 clients that we have, they would all be doing at least 2 or 3 of those services from us, all the time. It's just how it works,
Okay, so maybe you run us through, like you said that when the overseas investors, when they first invest the property, when they get the property, they have to register with the tax department, right? They have to open the file. So how soon do they need to do that?
So this is assuming they're renting the property. Obviously, if they're buying not to rent, there's actually no requirement to register. They register because they have UK income. So the rule is, if your rental income is more than £1,000 a year, which it almost certainly will be, then legally you have to then declare that rent on your tax return. So ideally, the best time to register will be before you receive your rental income. So registration, it can take a couple of months sometimes to get the paperwork processed. So if you know you're completing in sort of 3, 4, 5 months' time, best time is to get in contact with us. Once you've appointed your letting agent, and you know who you're going to use, just to let us know. We can get the paperwork ready so that, you know, the registration can go through before you actually receive your rental income. That's the best time to register. If you don't meet that deadline, it's okay. We can register you afterwards, but it's better to do it before.
Okay. So are there any difference in terms of tax rate between the local residents and the overseas investors, overseas foreigners?
Okay, well, the main difference is a non-UK resident only has to declare UK income. And so for the vast majority, that would just be the rental income from the UK property. A UK resident has to declare worldwide income, plus would obviously more likely have salary and things like that as well. Whereas a non-UK resident is just UK income. So for the vast majority, the rental income.
Okay. So, okay, some of the existing investors, they will ask this, very often ask this question. Why do they need to file taxes if they already paid the non-residence landlord tax? And, you know, so do you...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, firstly, it's a legal requirement. And secondly, the non-resident land, the NRL tax, it's what happens, it's what you get deducted if you don't register. So the idea is, yeah, you're supposed to register, and then the idea is you get paid your rental income, you know, in full, you declare it on your tax return, and then if you do have to pay tax, you then pay that as part of your tax return, you know, by the due date. And that's probably how you're supposed to do it. Now, if you don't register, what happens is that your letting agent has a legal requirement to then deduct the non-resident landlord tax, which is basically 20% of your rental income less the agent's own fees, and then you automatically deduct that every quarter and pay it over to HMRC. Now, this is, you know, when I mentioned the service before about claiming back overpaid tax, the vast majority of cases are people who've done this, where they haven't registered, maybe didn't even realise they had to. They just thought having tax deducted was normal. I've then met them and gone, well, no, that's not normal. That's not how you're supposed to do it. And actually, you're overpaying tax, because when they deduct the tax, they just base it on your rental income less the agent's fees. There'll be other expenses they won't consider, such as, you know, mortgage interest, whatever else. And the biggest thing they won't consider is whether you qualify for the personal allowance. Now, Malaysians do qualify. So there's £12,570 a year of UK income Malaysian can have and not pay any tax. So, and for the majority of people, and that's per person. So if there's two of you, you know, jointly own a property, that's £25,000 you can have. So a lot of our Malaysian clients simply don't pay UK tax. But if they weren't registered on the NRL scheme, they would be. They'll be paying a lot of tax that they don't need to pay. So the purpose of registering is to make sure that you simply don't overpay the tax and you pay the correct amount of tax when it's due. And for a lot of people, that will actually be zero. So it's so that's basically the biggest reason why you should register and do it properly.
Okay, that's a very good information for all our landlords here, the investors. And therefore, so from what you have explained is that if they have registered, like maybe before they get the property, they actually can inform the letting agent so that they would not be charged the NRL tax, right?
Yeah, so that's why I said it's the best time to register is before you get your rental income. If you get your rental income and you haven't registered, you will find that they will deduct that 20% tax first, and they may pay it over to HMRC as well. If that does happen, then we can still claim that tax back. We just do it as part of your tax return. So, you know, as long as you come to us, as long as we know what's happened, then, you know, we can claim that tax back for you. If we don't know, then that tax will be lost forever, and it'll be needless to be lost forever as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of money going away. Yeah. Okay. So, so you were saying that Malaysia is one of the countries that get the tax deduction, right?
It is, yeah. Tax allowance, yeah.
Yeah. So, apart from Malaysia, which other Asian countries that will get it as well?
Okay, well, the main ones will be Thailand and I believe India. The main ones that don't get it are Singapore. So Singaporeans do not get the allowance, and China and Hong Kong don't get the allowance either. So they're the main ones. So so Malaysia, it's simply down to the tax treaties between the countries, rather, the states, whether they get it or not. The reasoning behind why they get it and why they don't get it, I don't know. But it's just what it is. Malaysians do get it. That's the main one.
that's good news for all the Malaysian owners.
Mm.
Okay. So can you briefly tell us the process for tax filing? Like how much time do you usually require to start working on the new client? Like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we do everything sort of online. So when a new client wants to join us, the first thing we normally do is send them a link to an online questionnaire that we have. They fill in all the basic information, name, address, date of birth, details of letting agents, whatever. We can then use that to raise our engagement documents. We use a sort of online e-sign software, so everything can be done without having to print or post anything. And then we will then get all the forms prepared for you to sign. Now, crucially, what we do is when we do the forms to send to HMRC, is once they're all done, we will print them and send them from the UK. So you don't have to rely on any international post. And then once they are processed, when HMRC will write to you, the landlord, to say you are now registered with HMRC, here's your registration number. You know, you may take a while to get that letter because you're overseas. We will get a copy of that letter and get it a lot quicker than you. So there's no reliance on international post by using our services. And yeah, once it's all done, then we will just then do your tax return every year. So the UK tax year, it runs from the 6th of April to the 5th of April every year. Okay, yeah, I do get asked the question of why, and I don't have an answer to that. It just does. 6th of April to the 5th of April. And then you have to the following 31st of January to do your tax return. So at the moment, actually, what we're doing is with the 31st of January, or quite near now, is anyone who had rental income up until the 5th of April 2023, they are required to do a tax return by the 31st of January. So yeah, a lot of our clients, the majority of our clients, we've already done their tax return. But for those that haven't had one done yet, or even ones that just come to us now and say, oh, we need a tax return done, then we'll be doing those tax returns, get them done by the 31st of January, then there's no late filing penalties. Because even if you don't have to pay tax, if you're late on your tax return, you have to pay the penalty. And yeah, it starts at £100 for a penalty. It can actually rise to over £1,500 if you're more than a year late. So, and we obviously kind of appeal the penalty, but the best thing to do is just not get it in the first place. So engage with us and we'll make sure it's done.
Okay, so for those, I mean, like, I'm sure there are many owners or landlords that are not aware or didn't take the initiative to start the tax file and all. If they have lapsed for a few years, usually, what kind of how do you help them?
Okay, yeah, so we do meet clients like this as well. It does happen. Some people can have a rental property for many years and just simply not understand or realise they need to do a tax return. So the best thing to do is to get you registered. And in that instance, many people may have actually suffered the NRL tax without realising or thinking it's normal as well. So we can look to try and get that back. There are time limits to how far we can go back, but we'll certainly do our best. But the main thing is if we make the first move, so the penalties will likely be a lot less. If so, we can register you, making sure everything's done correctly going forward, claim any tax back that we can claim back, and just make sure the penalties that for non-compliance are as low, ideally even zero. What can be worse is if HMRC write to you and say, we know you're renting and you haven't done a tax return, in that instance, it's a lot harder to negotiate the penalties. But if you make the first move and you hold your hand up and say, yeah, I should have done a tax return and I haven't, then we can handle that. We do several of those every year. It's just the nature of the people we meet. It does happen. But at the end of the day, the main thing is that regardless of what you've done wrong in the past, get it right going forward.
Okay. Okay, so would it be instances where the NRL tax like higher than the defaulted tax, like so that you get more back or?
All the time, yeah. I mean, yeah, the deduction of the NRL tax is designed to be the maximum it possibly can be. It's designed that you have no other expenses to claim and that you don't qualify for the personal allowance. So, and in some people that may well be okay, but Malaysians in particular, and anyone that's got a mortgage, well, absolutely, you would be overpaying tax if you just leave the NRL deduction as it is.
Okay, So I've learned about this from Australia. Like, you know, if you have defaulted on tax, then you know you have accumulated too much. Then the tax department actually will give you a package, like for you to settle, like by installment and that kind of thing. So it doesn't
They
apply.
can, yeah, they can, yeah. I mean, they will charge interest, so they'll go back to when the original date of that tax is due and charge interest. But they can do an instalment plan. It can happen. It depends on how much tax needs to be paid. But yeah, you certainly can do a payment plan. But just watch out, just that you'll never be able to negotiate the interest. That will just be due, depending on how late the tax is paid.
Yeah, you don't really want to be in that kind of position, right?
Yeah.
And, okay, so Richard, so how about the can you share like examples of your client actually benefited a lot from your services? You know, do you have any examples?
Well, yeah. I mean, going back to the claiming the tax back. I mean, we've done that. I mean, we've done that. We do that probably a dozen, if not more, times a year, just for people we meet. And we'd do it more if we met more people. But it's just, yeah, people who, you know, we can actually get them money. We actually get them tax back, get them a payment into their bank account, which I never thought they'd get.
Okay.
So that's the best thing. And it's because, and it could be anything from just people trying to do their own tax returns, struggling, or they just need advice. They want to buy property, they don't know whether to use a company, whatever else. And I go around. I do presentations all over Asia, and you know, we help every country we go to, every people we meet. End of the day, you know, we have over 2,000 clients. You know, we don't get that without, you know, without helping them. So yeah, so you know, every client that we have, we help them by simply doing their tax return, taking that hassle, taking that, you know, that away from them, so they don't have to worry about it. And then if we can get them, save them some tax as well, because, you know, a lot of our clients either pay no tax at all or very minimal amount. And if they were to do it themselves, they would just probably end up paying more. They don't understand what expenses they can claim, or, you know, how the tax rates work and things like that. So the way the tax return system is designed, if you do your own tax return, you have to do it on a big paper form. You've only got till October to do it. And if you don't claim certain allowances, they're not automatic. You know, you may just not get it. So, you know, we will make sure everything's done correctly. So yeah, I mean, every client has benefited from our services. That's why they're a client. But in particular, the clients where we've got refunds for, where we've really helped them out and saved them tax, and help them, you know, build up a portfolio. We have clients that come to us with one property, now they have 10, and they've used us to build up that portfolio in the most tax efficient way possible.
Okay, that's good news for the investor, yeah. To you can help them reduce the tax and also get some money, right? Yeah. Okay, so for new investors, if they were to sign on your service, do they have to go to your office, or how can all this?
No, we do everything online. So we have our office in Kuala Lumpur, so in your time zone. So we have a non-resident landlord team. We also have what's called an onboarding team. So they just simply handle all the new clients. And so, I mean, often I get introduced to a client as a referral from a particular agent. Say, once the client's agreed to come on board, I can then email them to the onboarding team and say, here's the questionnaire, fill it in. The onboarding team will then contact them, raise all the engagement documents. Everything is done online. Everything's done through e-sign software. You don't need to print anything off. We will need to sort of maybe do a quick video call with you as part of our anti-money laundering, regulations. That's pretty standard. We'll check your ID, your passport, proof of address, whatever. But everything else, it's all done electronically, all done over email, phone calls, whatever. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you want to come to our office in Kuala Lumpur, you're more than welcome to. But there's no requirement to. There's no requirement.
Okay. Yeah. So so I guess you have shared most of the things that we want to hear, and really thank you for your time here today, Richard. Is there any last thing that you want to speak to our audience? Remind them.
I'll just say thank you very much for listening, and by all means, please get in contact with us. So if you've got any questions on tax, it doesn't matter, even if you've already got an accountant, it doesn't matter. Even if you're just thinking of buying and you haven't bought anywhere yet, just by all means, we're here to help you guys. You know, we know not everyone we speak to is going to become a client, but we're just more than happy to help. And yeah, maybe one day in a few years' time you remember us, and then when you do buy a property, you come to us. It does happen, you know. So yeah, so we're just here to help you guys. So I'm sure you'll share our contact details, and then we'll by all means, we're here. End of the day, we're in the service business. We're here to help you guys. We'll very much like to talk. You know, I've worked in tax for 20 odd years. So, you know, I'm more than happy to help you guys be as efficient as possible, help you build up your portfolios, answer any questions you've got, and just be as helpful as we can.
Yes. Okay. So to our audience, if you have any question or you could require any further information, please drop us a message in the comment box or contact us directly. And you also can visit us on our website, www.iqiglobal.com. And today, really want to thank you, Richard, for sharing the insight about tax to our investors in Malaysia and the Asia country. And we look forward to speaking with you soon again. Okay.
Yes, no, I will come out when I'm in Malaysia. I'll let you know. We can actually, maybe do something like this actually in person as well. That'd be great.
Sure. I will really look forward to meeting you in person. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.